Hello everyone. Today I'm going to discuss the 34th question of database management system. Let's see the question. Here's the question set 34. So here's the scenario. So from my previous videos I have discussed the questions related to this scenario to the same scenario. In this question set also I'm going to discuss the same scenario. So I will summarize this scenario. So there's a company, there's a shoe store called Arale Shoe Center, and the owner used to keep the information of the store within bill book system. Due to some disadvantages of this bill book system, owner decided to get a computer software. So this is the scenario. In my previous videos, I have already created this database and created the tables also. So in this video, I'm going to discuss how to insert data into the created table. So let's see. So in the first part of this question set, we have to enter the data in the table below into the user table. So in the first part, we have to enter these user details into the user type table. So let's see. For that, I'm going to use the Hades software. In my previous videos, I used my SQL workbench, to create the tables and to create the database. In this video, I'm going to use Hades software to insert data. So in the first question, we have to get the user table. So here's my database, Arale Shoe Center, and here's the user type table. So here's the table, and I'm going to enter those data by graphically. So the first data is employee. So here's the data, and when I'm drawing the ER diagram, I make this as auto increment. Because of that, this ID will be auto increment. Now I'm going to add the next data. The next data is customer, and the next data is supplier. Here's the third data, supplier. So I have added the data into the user type table. Let's see the next question. In the next question, we have to enter those data into the city table. So let's see. Here's the city table, and the first city is Colombo. So I'm going to add the first city, it's Colombo. And here also city ID is auto increment. Like that, I'm going to add the other city names. Like that, I have inserted all the city data into the city table. In the third question, we have to enter the gender into the gender table. So let's see. Here's the gender table, and I'm going to add the first gender, it is male. So the next gender is female. So here is the gender table. Now I'm going to add the data into the user table. Before entering the data into the user table, I'm going to enter the data into the address table, because in the user table we have to insert the address ID. So before entering the user data, I'm going to insert the address table data into the address table. So for that, I'm going to use queries to insert those data. So let's see. Here's our address table. Here now I'm going to add the first data. Not graphically, I'm going to use queries to insert the first data. So let's see. So here I'm going to insert the data by using insert queries. So let's see. So here's the first query. So I have write it as first I have get the database and the table which I'm going to insert the data, and I have get the column names, and here are the values for the first data. So now I'm going to run this. So I'm going to refresh here. So you can see the data has been updated into the address table. So here's the query which I used to insert the data into the address table. So data has been inserted into the address table. Now like that, like this query, I'm going to write the other queries. So here are the other queries which I write to insert the data into the address table. Now I'm going to run this. So you can see the query has been run. Now I'm going to refresh the address table. So you can see the data has been updated or inserted into the address table. For that I have used the query. So here are the queries which I used to insert the data into the address table. Now we can insert into the data into the user table. For this also I'm going to use queries to insert user details into the user table. So let's see. Here is our user table. Now I'm going to insert the data into the user table. For that also I'm going to use queries, insert queries. So let's see. Here I have written the first query to insert the data into the user table. First of all, I have get my database and I have get the table which I going to insert the data. And here are the column names in the user table, and here are the values which given in the question. Now I'm going to run this. So you can see here's our user table. After running the insert query, I'm going to refresh this. So you can see the first data has been inserted into the user table. So like this I'm going to write the other queries. So here are the other queries. Here are the queries which I'm going to insert into the user table. Now I'm going to run this. After running these queries, I'm going to refresh the user table. So you can see here the data has been inserted into the user table. So for that also I have used the insert queries. So here are the queries which I used to insert the data into the user table. In the sixth part, we have to enter the data into the table below into the system login table. So here are the data which we have to enter into the student system login table. I'm going to enter this data graphically. So let's see. Here's the system login table. I'm going to add the first data. The login ID is 1. I have kept login ID as auto increment. When I creating the table, the first name is username is Tilina and the password is this. Here's the password and the user ID is 1. The user ID is 1. We have already completed the data. We have already inserted the data into the user table, and the user is Tilina. The ID is 1. So here's the first data. Like that I'm going to add the other data. So here you can see I have inserted the data into the system login table. So today I have discussed the question set 34. So thank you everyone for listening.